back again. You guys are probably saying, I've seen y'all online before. I've seen you
They look
online.
familiar.
Yeah.
They look familiar.
So I've got my buddy, my partner, my pal. Boom. Virtual high five. Let's see if we can do this. All right. Something.
I can't. I think it's this way. This way.
On your right.
Yeah, wait, there we go.
Aurora Gregory. What's happening, Aurora? How you doing?
I am good. Robert, how are you today?
Fantastic. We have been sharing stories. We've been talking about storytelling for the last week and a half or so.
Yep.
And why have we been doing that, my friend?
Well, we have been doing that because we have planned, along with our pal Shannon, who isn't able to join us today, but she, I know, is here with us in spirit and will be with us next week on Wednesday for the Magnify Your Message experience. We could not be more excited about bringing together kind of this multi-layer, I hate to even use the word workshop because it just doesn't do what we've planned justice. But a multi-layer day where we will work with you, if you join us, on your story, on your speaker pitch, and on creating your own live video stage. We could not be more excited about it. And so getting together these last couple weeks to talk about story has been really great. And we are really hoping that it's got you excited and energized about joining us next week on Wednesday, November 10th.
Yeah, love it. So we're sharing because we want to invite you to the experience. The other reason that we're sharing is because we believe that doing this, what we're talking about, is going to make a huge, tremendous, ginormous difference for you, your life, and your business. Because I just got off a podcast interview not too long ago. And one of the questions that they asked me, they said, if you could rank it on a scale of 1 to whatever, how important is communication? And I was like, listen, it's everything. It's everything, right? You've got to figure out how to influence people. You've got to figure out how to let people know that you can help them. You've got a lot of things that you can do and need to do with regard to communication. And then if we go deeper, then story is one of the underpinnings of communication that really makes it work most effectively. Absolutely. So, man, that's why we're here. So today we're going to do a little bit of, what do we call real talk,
Exactly.
real talk, because one of the things that we've been hearing from a lot of our friends, from a lot of people is, my gosh, Robert, I know you're talking about storytelling, and I know you're talking about storytelling on my social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn and maybe TikTok, right? I know you're talking about all of that, but I'm freaked out by the idea of having to go live, right? I'm freaked out by the idea of being on camera. So, Robert, Aurora, can you help me calm my fears? Can you help me get rid of my anxieties? Let me lie down on the couch while y'all do your therapy thing. Come on, tell us. Tell me what to do.
I love that. If we ever do the Magnify Your Message experience live and in person, we'll probably have to have couches for everybody, not chairs and tables.
Oh my. Yeah. So as we real talk here, I mean, what is it so scary? What's so scary for people when we talk about going live?
Yeah, I think there are a few things about going live. I mean, one, it's, you wonder, is anybody going to watch? Is anybody there? Is anybody going to listen? That's kind of a scary thing. It's, I think the first few times you do it, there's the awkwardness of kind of talking in your space. You almost feel like you're talking to yourself. Each of us are in our kind of home office spaces, and there's no one else here. We're looking at our cameras. We are having a conversation, but we've each gone live and felt like you were talking to yourself. And, there's a certain level of awkwardness about that, that I think sometimes can take a little bit to overcome. I know it did for me. Me being a speaker coach, I jokingly sometimes call myself Cinderella. I'm always the one who's helping speakers get ready to be on stage. And yet, over the last 5 or 6 years, I've had to get myself out on stage and to take on the challenge of live video. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I was on that couch and resistant to it.
Yeah.
I really was. It was a struggle for me. So, that awkwardness, I think, of talking into this camera. All of us probably have a webcam, and there's these little blue lights that let you know it's on, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like, you're just wondering, is anybody out there?
Yeah. Yeah. The invisible audience, right? And so I think
Right.
for me, there were several things that I thought. I mean, I think we all have this self-criticism that
Mhm.
we do a lot, right? We hyper focus on certain things. So for me, I would always focus on like body parts, right? It was kind of like I didn't like. I thought, did the certain angle make my forehead look big, or my nose looked a certain way, or a certain expression that I had on
Yeah.
my face, like my lips looked pointy or
Mhm.
whatever it was. And so back in like 2012, 2011, 2012, I was when I first started podcasting. And
Mhm.
I started my first set of podcasts. Um, Janae's like church. Let's have church. He's talking about church. Yeah. So
You got that right.
yeah. So I started podcasting, and I was podcasting using Google Hangouts,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So you remember that's like
Yep.
aging us.
Yep.
Right. I was podcasting using Google Hangouts, and I remember watching even little pieces. I didn't want to watch my episodes at all because I would just super criticize myself.
Yeah.
I forget what other people were thinking. I'm already giving them like ammo. I'm already
Right.
saying that because I think my nose looks this way, because I think my forehead looks this way, therefore everybody else thinks it looks that way.
Absolutely.
So
We're
I'm
definitely the
freaking
people,
out.
like, we shove everybody out of the way who might have some minor criticism and say, "Step aside. I have
Yeah.
something to say about me."
You don't have to punch me. I want to punch me.
Yeah, yeah, excuse me while I punch myself. Wait your
Yeah.
turn.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I mean, I'm like doing these podcasts and absolutely hating to watch them. But I think one of the things that helped me or healed me, whichever one you want to call it, I remembered back in the day, like in the early 2000s, when I used to sing with the singing group, and we went to the studio to record. And so we go and we record our background vocals, and the producers like, okay, Robert, you go ahead, go into the studio, go into the to the recording room, to the booth, and record your lead vocal. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, cool. So I record the lead vocal and I come out, and he's like, okay, let's listen to it. I'm like, no, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
no, let's not listen to it.
no.
And he's like, why not? I said, no, I don't want to listen to it. I mean, it's done. I don't want to listen to it. He said, why not? I said, because I don't like the way my voice sounds on recordings. And he said, okay, so let's try to deal with this. He said, you know that voice that you listen to on the recordings that you hate, that you don't like listening to. You know that's the same voice we hear all the time, and we're cool with it, right?
Right.
so, so he's like, listen, whether you want to listen to it or not, we hear it. So if you're beating yourself up about what you hear or what you don't like to hear, sorry, bro, unless you're going to go and have vocal cord surgery,
Right.
this is what we hear all the time. And so as I transferred that to the whole video stuff. I'm like, okay, that same nose that you're focusing on, that you're those little bags that you're hyper focusing on under your eyes,
Mhm.
that forehead that you're hyper focusing on. I mean, unless you want to spend Paris Hilton money, Kim
Yep.
Kardashian money, and get it changed
Right.
somehow.
That's right.
That's what you got, bro.
That's right.
And if you're going to spend time hyper focusing on it, then you might as well just not do what you're doing. But, unless you're planning on paying money to change it, then it's been seen. It's been
It's been
seen.
seen. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, you know, even before you went live or you were doing podcasting or anyone takes the, takes the step to put themselves out there in live video,
Hmm.
you've already been communicating. If you have been talking with people, if you've been maybe working with your own clients, or you're trying to build something on the side and you work, in a 9 to 5 job, people are already seeing that. They're already hearing your voice. They're already seeing your face,
Hmm.
and they appreciate you. They
Yeah.
appreciate it about you. It's, that those are those things where we have to do, I guess, a little bit of self-acceptance
Yep.
to get past it's one of those things we have to kind of get past to be able to get ourselves, ready to hit that button that says go live now. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
So the other thing that people tell me that the reason why they're scared to go live is because they feel nervous, that, like they're going to ramble. They don't
Mm,
know what to say when
yep.
they click the go live button or the record button.
Right.
I'm not sure what I should say, Robert. I feel like a goofball, like my head goes blank when- once I hit that little red button. It's like it's mocking me. It's laughing at me. I sucked all your brain juice out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
You now know nothing, remember nothing of what you
right,
are an expert about. Like, it
right.
all just goes out the window.
Yeah. So I mean, what else are you hearing? What other reasons are people giving you why they can't be on this camera stage?
There's something about that element of live. I think that it's almost, there's some carryover to the fears that people have of being on a live stage.
Hmm.
What if my technology fails? What if I forget what I'm supposed to say? What if no one comes? What if, like, all of this, they're all of the what ifs. We could probably do a session just on all of the what ifs.
Yeah.
There's so much fear around what they don't know, what seems beyond their control.
Hmm.
And the truth of the matter is, all of these things are within your control.
Yeah.
Do technical things happen? Yep, they happen. If you're trying to go, just live straight from Facebook, sometimes Facebook doesn't let you do that. Yes, all of those things can happen. Might you forget your place? Yep, those things can happen. Like, all of those things that you fear. Could you have the dreaded tickle in the throat and have a coughing attack in the middle of your life? Like, yes, all of those things that you fear, they could happen. But here's the counsel and the encouragement that I give anyone who, takes up some courage and gets out there. Live stage, live video. No one who comes to hear you, or who watches your live, or who
Hmm.
watches your live on a replay, no one shows up to listen to you to say, "Oh, this is going to be good. I need to see a good train wreck on stage." Like, no one no one shows up. No one as an audience member shows up for that.
Yeah.
Your audience came because they really believe that you have something of value to offer them. In a live situation, if you are, live and people stick around to hear it, it's because they're getting some value out of it.
Right.
If they come and listen to the replay, which is awesome. Like, I'm never hurt or offended if I do a live and there are 0 people live when I do it. I'm
Right.
always looking for the juice that comes on the replay. Your audience is there to support you.
Yeah.
Your followers, your friends, like, they're there to support you. And if
Right.
if all of those things happen, and they might, maybe they will, they are supporting you in while you try to work those things out, whether you have to silence your mic so you can cough it out,
Hmm.
or you need to fumble a bit to get your microphone back connected. Your audience is there to support you. No
Yeah.
one shows up to hear someone with the idea, "Yep, I can't wait to see this train wreck." And
Yeah.
so don't put the train wreck title on yourself, because your audience isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff. I mean, I could list all the stuff that's gone wrong when I'm going live. I mean, let's start with today. I'm using a little bit of a different mic. So normally when I go live or podcast, you might see this microphone,
Mhm.
right? I was on a podcast live about an hour ago, and we were using Riverside FM in browser. And during the middle of a question that I was answering, the browser just was like, dude, I don't want to work right now. I'm done. I need a lunch break.
I'm on siesta.
Right. So it just literally shut down. Right. So the browser shuts down, and I started again. I reloaded, I get it started, and I come back in. Good thing I remembered what I was saying. And so they were like, yeah, just pick up where you left off. I did that. About 10 minutes later, it's like all of a sudden I see them like they can't hear me. And I'm looking and I'm seeing no microphone signal. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I didn't change anything. They can't hear me. So I swapped out like my system, and I switched over to this USB microphone. Right. I had a backup. So I went to this. And then I go back on, and after a little while, the browser glitches out again. And so then I have to so the technology failed. And this is today. This is today, right? And you look at Robert, you're like, oh, he's prepared. He's got a professional microphone, he's got the backdrop, he's got
he teaches people how to do this.
Yeah. Right. And it breaks.
And it happens.
I've had stuff happen where I'm going live and all of a sudden my eyes start burning. I get like an eye itch attack, and I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't see nothing. I can't see. Right. Jesus help me, please. I can't see. So, and I'm like rubbing my eyes. I've had the itchy coffee thing. I'm just kind of like, all of this stuff happens. And if I allow the errors or allow the glitches to keep me from sharing my message, then ultimately what I'm doing is I'm kind of being selfish, right? I am keeping those who my message can touch from hearing it, because I was just saying this on the other podcast that I really believe that when we hear people say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know my purpose. I don't know my purpose. I don't know my purpose. My purpose. What's my purpose? I'm trying to find my purpose. Let me read a book. Let me go get purpose-driven life so I can get my purpose." I believe everybody's purpose is the same. Everybody's purpose is to live life and transform the life of at least one other person while you're here.
So good.
Right?
So good.
The difference in that is I transform somebody's life by helping them to find their voice and share their stories. Somebody else transforms it by helping people to figure out how to be healthy. Right? Somebody else helps transform it by making sure that people who are less fortunate, who don't have privileged circumstances, have places to live. And so, I mean, we all have the same purpose. How we execute that purpose just happens to be slightly different.
That's right. The message may be different, but we all have that purpose. That's really great.
Yeah. So where's it at? Right here. How do you magnify your message? How do you get your message out of your brain, out of your head, and into a microphone, into a video, and onto a stage where it can touch somebody? It can touch somebody.
And I'll say this, and Robert, I suspect you've had the same experience. As I've moved through different stages of my business and building it and refining my own, message and my own, gift to help others. The places and the times where I've had the greatest growth, made the biggest steps forward, were always in connection with either a community or with a coach or some experience. It's very difficult to make those big strides yourself. You need a little bit of a catalyst, people to encourage you, people who can see things that you can't do, that will call you up higher. And that's so much of what to do next Wednesday. The Magnify Your Message experience is call you up higher to really take that next step in putting your message forward so that you can impact the people that we know in your heart and in your mind you want to impact. And Robert's so right. It doesn't matter whether you are a health coach, someone who, helps entrepreneurs in their business, maybe in, finance or accounting. Whether you're, help them, whether you help people build offers, it doesn't matter. Story stages, and live video are the perfect grouping of activities to
Yeah.
help you market your business more effectively, to draw those people that you want to impact. And I will say this, this is a meme that I think is going around a little bit. I've seen it a few times. You know, as far as going live is concerned, you have to be willing to have a little bit of courage to suck at something. Because let me just kind of fill
Yeah.
you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
Those first few lives, the first time you get up and do something, the first time you hit that button that says go live now,
Yeah.
um, it's it's going to be awkward. It's probably not going to be very good. And I
Right.
say that as someone who, I still have my first live video.
Yeah.
Please understand, I am a speaker coach. I have been for over 25 years.
Hmm.
It wasn't very good. And you have to be willing to take the risk to not be very good so that you can get it out of the way
Hmm.
and get better.
Yeah.
It gets better quickly the more often that you do it, but it can't get better if you don't start, if you
Yeah.
don't get out there and take the challenge to do it. And
Yeah.
so, we want to be able to equip you to do that, to be able to do it with as much confidence as possible, and to really show you the way that will make your path much easier.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I remember being very resistant. Again, I think Cinderella is like that. She can be a little resistant to
Yeah.
to getting out there and doing things for herself. And I was that. I was resistant to doing it. I had a coach who said, "Nope, you're doing it," and pushed me
Mm.
out there. Hat tip to Tracy Phillips, who did that for me and pushed me out there. And then once I realized the power and the value of it, well, I fell in love with it because it's so efficient. It's so great. And, Robert, you'll laugh at this. Sometimes I would get, questions from people. I'd get an email question from someone, and it's like, oh gosh, writing out this answer, like this is going to take a lot of time. I'll just
Yeah.
make them a quick video. And so I did. And that's how I just realized the power of video to
Yep.
share a message, to answer questions. It was awesome. So I want to just give you that encouragement. If you're like, oh, I love the idea of story. I'd love to have a pitch to send out, but that live video stuff, I don't know. It's like, no, that
Yeah.
stuff, that's rich. That's gold right there. And
Yeah.
and part of our experience next week, Robert's really going to help us, get clarity around how to do that and to do it well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things, I mean, I don't want to overwhelm people, but I mean, I go back to this. I forget who said this. A long time ago, I was watching a webinar and they were like, you need a Sherpa to navigate your mountain, right? It's
Yep.
like you're climbing Kilimanjaro or you're climbing
Yep.
K2 or
Yep.
Everest or whatever it is. You can decide that you're going to be like, okay, yep, I've been hiking for the last 3 months, so I'm ready. I'm going to
Yep.
go hike this mountain. But
Yep.
there's elements, there's weather, there's all sorts of stuff that is in the area, and you don't live in the area. So you don't
Right.
know how to navigate the mountain. And there are these Sherpas that live in the area and they know the paths, they know the weather patterns, they know the times of day, they know
Absolutely.
how to get up and down this mountain safely. And so in order for you to be safe when you're going up the mountain, you need a guide.
That's right.
You need a Sherpa. You need a mentor. You need someone who's been there, done that, can share with you and help you see your blind spots as you kind of navigate this challenge. And so, what we're doing is we're not like saying, "Oh, hey, come do our experience because we want to sell something to you." It's like, listen, we've done this
Hmm.
and we see the difference that it's made for us. I mean, a lot of times, I think I shared this on one of our other lives. I get people asking me questions simply because they were like, "Oh my gosh, I saw you on LinkedIn Live. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, I see you on video all the time. Oh my gosh,
Yep.
I see you doing these types of things. Tell me a little bit more about boom."
That's
Right. And
right.
so that's why I do what I do. And that's why I want to be able to share with people like, okay, what is it about going live and And how do you do that? How do you create video? How do you utilize, or how do you merge and mix storytelling with video in a way that's going to make a difference for you and your business?
That's exactly right. And I'll share just a personal story from all of us going live. You, Shannon, and I going live these last few weeks. After one of our lives, I think it was last week. I got a message from someone who watched and recognized like that I was an author. I'm the co-author of a book,
Right.
and he messaged me and said, "Hey, I'd love to have you on my Amazon Live show in November. Can you give me some dates that might work for you?"
Right.
Those are the kinds of things that happen when you go live. Those are the
Yeah.
kinds of things when you bring some consistency to putting your message, to sharing your knowledge, to
Yeah.
bringing what it is that has been placed in you, deposited in you. When you bring it out into the forefront, people say, "I saw you, I heard you, or I'm listening to you right now. Are you available to do this? Would you be
Yeah.
interested in joining in that?" And those are the types of experiences that help to grow your business. So these are not things that we're sharing because we believe they work. We're sharing them and wanting to impart them to you, to give them to you, these tools and this guidance, because we know they work. They're
Yeah.
working for us. We've watched them work for others, and we want to see them work for you. We want to see you have the tools that you need and the confidence to go out and land stages and go live and share your message and build your business, because
Love
that's
it.
what you went into business for.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So, I mean, I think just as a quick outline of our day, because it's coming up, it's going to be November 10th. You want to get some more information on this. You want to get signed up. Head on over to magnifyyourmessage.live/info. That's right at the bottom of the screen here. But we're going to spend, it's a full day. The first section of the day is going to be Shannon helping you to figure out your story and unearth that, because a lot of times we have a product, or we have a program, or we have something that we know is going to make a difference for people. But if we just approach them with that product, like, here, buy my stuff, they're gonna be like, dude, get out of here. Right?
Right.
No soliciting. Right? Get out of here.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Right. But if we're like, hey, I see that you're drinking Coca-Cola. Man, 5 years ago, I drank Coke, and I remember that was my first time drinking, and I remember the bubbles going down and the fizz pop, and the stuff that I felt in my chest. I felt that. Like, yeah, I remember that experience, right? And so now you're vibing. Now you're creating a connection with people, and when you create a connection, then the conversations can go to different places from there. You begin to find out a little bit more about them and what they need, and so it's important for you to be able to unearth your critical experiences and stories that make a difference, so that you can then, connect with your tribe and your people. And then
Right.
Shannon's gonna do that. And then after that, Aurora's gonna say, okay, yeah, you got your story. You got your thing. You got your connector piece. How can you take that and now package it into a pitch that you can then use to get on different stages?
That's right.
Right. And it's not just to get on the stages, because a lot of people are trying to get on stages. And I think last time you said it's a competition, right?
It is a competition.
Right.
Absolutely.
So how do you increase your chances? How do you increase your likelihood of getting on these stages with your story? Well, Aurora's got the secret. She's
I
got,
do.
yeah, she's got a framework. She's got stuff that she's going to walk you through step by step, so that you can now begin to have your message in different places on different stages. And so
right.
when we talk about stages, we're not just talking about the ballroom at a hotel, right? We're not just talking about a stadium, or we're not just talking about an auditorium. We are now also talking about, well, a podcast. We're also talking about a live stream, a virtual conference. How do you get on those? And on the way to getting those, can you create your own stage? Well,
That's right.
Then that's where my part comes in. Here's how you create your own stage using video, and here's how you share your story on that stage, and even use your video to maybe leverage getting on other stages as well. So, man,
That's right.
we've got a power pack day for you.
It's
So
awesome.
you want
We're
to get
excited
signed
about
up.
it. So we hope that you'll be excited about it too. You know, before we jumped on, Robert and I were getting set up, and we were both talking about how incredibly busy this season feels. You know,
Yeah.
coming into the end of the year, you know, the fall just brings a you know, a different level of busyness to it. And I think that's true for all of us. Like everyone's busy right now. But I, you know, it's a little bit about, you know, a little bit of what I talked about with Shannon yesterday. If you wait for optimal conditions to make the decision to be a part of an experience like this, to do things that will support and move your business forward, you will be waiting a very long time. There's no such thing as optimal conditions. There's not a perfect time of year where it's best to do things. It's a busy season, but if your calendar is free next Wednesday and you can join us, you should join us.
Yeah.
It will springboard you. We promise that this experience is not going to be it's not going to be hours of you just sitting back and listening to us talk at you. It's going to be a very interactive experience. You will come away with tangible takeaways, tools that you will be able to use right away in your business to move your message forward. So, you know, like I said, Robert and I were talking about the intensity of the busyness.
Mm-hmm.
There's never a good time. There's not that the fallacy of optimal conditions is real. So if you're saying, ugh, I just don't have time for it right now, I'm just going to challenge you to just rethink that a little bit and see if and double check that might not be the exact moment where you actually do need to take some action and take some steps to invest in yourself and in your business. Because I can tell you, you and your business are worth investing in. The message that you have to share is worth investing in. And the audience, the people that you want to serve with your message, they're worth investing in. So if you can invest that time to be with us next week, we would love to pour into you and get you set up for a great 2022.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Listen, y'all, we're going to get on out of here, but we are actually going to be back with you tomorrow. Let me see. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow our time tomorrow's the 5th, and we're going to be on at 2 o'clock. We're going to be on at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk with you about, I forgot what the message is for tomorrow.
Let's see.
It's something. All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and look. Go ahead and look. I
think. Let me look here and see what we wrote down for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we've certainly been planning.
Oh, I think tomorrow is. Oh, today was real benefit of going live. Tomorrow, I think, is the secret benefit of stages.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So join us tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Join us tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to talk about the secret benefit of stages and why you should really invest your time into getting on stages and how that's going to help your business. All right. So we got some comments here. So many amazing takeaways. Thank you for that, Junaid. All right. Excellent. Thanks for hanging with us. All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. All right. So don't forget, go to magnifyyourmessage.live/info, and we will see y'all tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
2 p.m.
Bye, everyone.
Eastern. Bye.